Diminish bad bacteria. Receive more energy. Cleanse your skin. Eliminate toxins. Give health and energy to your vital organs. If you want to make a change in your health plan, call now. Call right now. 928-308-0408. Again, 928-308-0408. Or you can log on to the website at getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Make up your mind and choose the right path. That's getthetea.com.
Regardless of the dollar price involved, 1 ounce of gold would purchase a good quality man's suit at the conclusion of the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, the presidency of Franklin Roosevelt, and today. You may not be in the market for a new suit, but you don't know what the future may bring. And gold is the one financial constant the world has ever known. It can always provide you with your basic needs. Whether you're looking for junk silver, old silver dollar rolls, gold bullion, or fractional tradable gold pieces, Kettle Moraine is your full-service representative with over 50 years of knowledge and personal experience. Visit FlyingEagleGold.com or call us at 623-327-1778 today for competitive prices on all your gold or silver needs. If you're looking for real financial insurance, call Kettle Moraine today at 623-327-1778. That's Kettle Moraine, 623-327-1778.
This is The Micro Effect. The Micro Effect Broadcasting Network.
Welcome and good evening to everyone out there listening to this broadcast. This is the Agenda Radio Show, and I'm your host, Robert Pino. Tonight we have a very incredible guest, and I'm going to withhold his name just before we bring him on because you all know who he is. He's done some incredible things, a lot of people have not done. So we're going to bring him up right after the news. Right now, I just want to talk about the full agenda presentation of Ed Grimsley's Skywatch. It's going to be a fantastic thing, everybody. And really, if you get a chance, go to the website and look at it. It's going to be a full-blown event, really. It's going to be an incredible thing. We're going to have Ed Grimsley as speaker. We're going to bring on a few more guests, actually. We're going to have a full-blown dinner, including ribs, chicken, brats, hamburgers, hot dogs, chips, dips, dessert, assortment of drinks, alcoholic and non-alcoholic. There will be door prizes. We will be giving away free T-shirts, hats, mugs to everybody who comes and joins with our Skywatch, which is going to be an incredible thing, really. And for $75 is such an inexpensive price for a full evening's entertainment. But I also know that I think we are going to be postponing it in the October 29th date, and we're probably going to be pushing that back into November. So I hope everybody will look at the event and join us for this, because it's going to be an incredible event. It's going to be actually taking place at Lake Pleasant, which is a beautiful lake surrounded by mountains. It's going to be very, very dark. We'll have a full we will have a big screen TV, which you'll be able to actually view the anomalies going on above our heads in just our upper atmosphere of these craft appearing to do some sort of battle, which Ed has shown has been talking about for years. So it's really going to be an incredible event. The information is down on the Skywatch links on our website. We probably will be postponing it. We haven't done it yet, but we probably will to going into November. So if anybody wants to get any information on it, just call myself or Paul, our news correspondent, and we'd be more than happy to give you any information on that is available to us at this moment. Anyway, right now I want to bring up our news correspondent, Paul Landris, with the news of the incredible, strange, and bizarre. And stick with us, everybody. This is the Whole Agenda Radio Show. I'm your host, Robert Pepino, and we'll be back right after the news. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. This is Paul Landris for the Whole Agenda Radio Show. With tonight's news, treasure found, a shipwreck. The SS Goddess Hope was carrying 200 tons of silver worth $200 million when it was torpedoed by a German U-boat in 1941. Now the vessel has been found by U.S. treasure hunters who were awarded a contract to conduct a search by the Department for Transport. Discovered southwest of Ireland, 3 miles down, the wreck has yielded the largest amount of precious metal ever found at sea. The team will now attempt to salvage the silver, with the split being 80% for them and 20% to the British Treasury. The 412-foot craft had set sail from India carrying silver, iron, and tea and was headed for Liverpool. But it was forced to break away from its convoy as weather deteriorated. Running out of fuel, the captain tried to make it to Galloway in Ireland, but was attacked by the enemy submarine 300 miles southwest of the harbor, with the loss of all but one of the 85 crewmen. Of 32 survivors who managed to clamber onto life, Second Officer Richard Ayres was the only one who made it to the Cornish coast alive. He was awarded an MBE for his attempt to rescue his fellow sailors and lived until 1992. The silver, a mixture of privately owned bullion insured by Britain's wartime government and state-owned coins and ingots, will now be recovered in a painstaking process. Washington. Capitol Police were not amused by tweets in an article written by the satirical magazine The Onion, falsely reporting that members of Congress had taken a group of school children hostage. The satirical newspaper's Twitter accounts related the story Thursday, reporting gunshots, hostage taken in the Capitol, came a day after the FBI arrested a Massachusetts man accused of planning to bomb the Pentagon and the Capitol's explosive-filled model airplanes. It has come to our attention that recent Twitter feeds are reporting false information concerning current conditions at the U.S. Capitol. Capitol Police spokesperson Sergeant Kimberly Snyders had said in a statement. She said conditions at the Capitol, now largely empty, lawmakers are on vacation, were normal. There is no credibility to those stories on the Twitter feeds. U.S. Capitol Police are currently investigating the reporting. The Onion tweets and articles spoke members, congressional leaders brandishing shotguns and semi-automatic pistols, taking a class of school children hostage and threatening to kill them if they didn't get $12 million in cash. It showed a doctored picture of House Speaker John Boehner, Representative of Ohio, holding a gun to a child's head, and reported that Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid was firing a handgun and wearing black pantyhose over his head. Boehner's office had no comment. Ohio. A judge in Ohio has sentenced a woman to 15 days in jail, choking a 71-year-old Walmart greeter, who asked to see receipt as the woman left the store. Municipal Judge Lisa Lockgrave sentenced 49-year-old Tony Duncan on Thursday for what she calls the absolutely reprehensible attack last March. Duncan was sentenced after pleading no contest and found guilty of assault. According to the Chronicle Telegram, defendant also was ordered to take an anger management, do you think? By the year's end, and stay away from the Walmart and the Vic 5 years. The woman's 23-year-old daughter was also with her, and she was also sentenced to 3 days in jail for disorderly conduct, and also was ordered to stay away from Walmart for 5 years. If you have 5 or more tickets, the group can choose to be an official audience delegation and thus be officially celebrated during this event. To register as a delegation, you must first obtain tickets. Then register with the Grand Pangyindrum of the delegations. Colorful delegations will be selected to march gloriously into the theater. Now, what else could this be? But 21st Annual IG Nobel Prizes. Showered with paper airplanes, garlanded by admiring Nobel laureates, some of the world's quirkiest scientists were honored at the sellout ceremony at Harvard University last night. Conferred by the Annals of Improbable Research, it has become one of the most coveted prizes in science. Bringing neither personal riches nor offers of future funding, the IG Nobles do bestow a heavy dollop pool on their winners who collectively seem to put the fizz in physics and the giggles in gigabytes. These are some of this year's winners. For the Physiology Prize, it was Anna Wilkinson, Natalie Savant, Isabel Mandel, and Ludwig Huber for their study, No Evidence of Contagious Yawning in the Red-Footed Tortoise. For the Mathematics Prize, this was bestowed on a group of individuals. Dorothy Martin, Pat Robertson, Elizabeth Clare Prophet, Lee Jang Rim, Redona Minwin, and Harold Camping, all of which predicted the end of the world. They were awarded for teaching the world to be careful when making mathematical assumptions and calculations. For biology, it went to Darrell Gwynn and David Rentz for discovering that a certain kind of beetle mates with a certain kind of Australian beer bottle. And Arturas Zukas, who is the actual mayor of Vilnius, Lithuania, for demonstrating that the problem of illegally parked luxury cars can be solved by running them over with an armored tank. For the full list of winners, go to our website, www.thewholeagenda.com. And then finally, I've got some unusual facts here for you. Men are 6 times more likely to be struck by lightning than women. Well, I'm sure that's because of our electromagnetic personalities. A toothpick is the object most often choked on by Americans, and we know why: too many martinis. It is estimated that millions of trees in the world are accidentally planted by squirrels who bury nuts and then forget where they hid them. I would imagine with that one they were probably drunk off the fermented acorns, and when they buried them, remember where they buried them. And let's see, dolphins sleep with one eye open. I'm sure that's they're in the witness protection program. And you know what? On this last one, I can't make a comment on this one. I just can't make a comment. In St. Louis, it is illegal to drink beer out of a bucket while you're sitting on a curb. Well, that's it for me tonight. This has been Paul Landers for the Whole Agenda Radio Show. Robert will be right up with tonight's guest. Thank you and good night.
Welcome back to the Whole Agenda Radio Show, everybody, and I want to thank Paul, as always, our news correspondent, which brings you incredible news, sometimes a little weird, sometimes a little strange, but always informative and entertaining. I want to thank him, and everybody, I want you to go visit our website and look at Paul's news articles. They're always incredible. I actually go to them almost every day because he puts up new posts every single day. And they're quite remarkable, funny, sometimes strange, sometimes incredible. But go check it out because you'll find it as entertaining as I do. Anyway, getting back to our guests this evening. And I think I mentioned a little something earlier about it, our guests, or maybe I didn't. Well, for everyone listening, Our guest is Ed Grimsley. Ed Grimsley, who has been viewing our skies for the better part of 2 decades, has come to the conclusion that there are wars going on above our head. These crafts come in and out of our atmosphere, blinking in and out, without anybody ever realizing what is going on right above your head. Now, whether our U.S. military knows what's going on, or if they actually participate with these beings that are doing what they are able to do without us being able to recognize, is another story. But of course, Ed was involved in the military, and his story is very long and in depth. We had Ed on as one of our very first guests on this podcast just about a month ago, and I guess we could call this probably the anniversary of our first month of broadcasting on the show. Ed Grimsley, I welcome you to the show. Thank you so much for being with us.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm really glad about the news, because otherwise I'd be trying to sit on a curb and drink beer out of a bucket.
Well put, Ed. No, I've never tried that one myself. I guess that's the first time for everything.
If you drink too much, I guess it wouldn't be too bad, because if you're sitting on the curb, you wouldn't have far to fall. And if you woke up in the gutter, it's only uphill from there.
You're right. It's only uphill from there. But, Ed, last time we talked, we had a really it was, we talked about so much, and we only have 2 hours on this podcast, and I know we could go for hours and hours and hours. But, I'm really happy to have you actually back on this broadcast. I know we've talked many times, and the situation is tough for everybody. There's no question about it. We're all suffering from what's going on from these tyrannical monsters who have created this illusion of capitalism in this country, when this country was founded on a republic, because this really goes back into your military career. I know that. Now, that there's some things we just can't talk about, and I won't talk about them, because, and I know you won't talk about them either. And hopefully with due time, when things progress, maybe we can talk about a few things. But the point of the matter is, Ed, when this all started for you, I know you were a small boy when you started actually seeing these crafts and actually had visitations.
Well, 10, 12 years old the first time, and then seeing a lot of craft doing battle when I was 16. And then later on, when I was like 18, 19, having seen a little bit here and there, and then deciding to get night vision goggles to try and find them, because I knew they were out there to see them. So,
well, before you go on right from there, Ed, hold on. I don't want to interrupt right there. But what made you come up with the idea of using night vision goggles to see these craft? I mean, that must have, was it like a light bulb that went off in your head? Because, to me, I would have never thought of that.
Well, I'm kind of think out of the box in a lot of ways. I'm a sort of an inventor. I'm working on projects to make the world a better place, and it's kind of the thinking about it. They're in the sky. It's dark. How well can you see them? How well can't you see them? If you can see in the dark better, you should be able to see them. And there was craft that I saw with just a glimmer of light, and you wonder what it was that was flying up there. And by putting up a pair of goggles, you can see what it is. And you also then can tell the difference between satellites and spacecraft that are actually maneuvering and traveling. And the thing is that so many times I would look up and see a star, and then it would look like the star flew away. And so I felt they were stopping and starting and doing what they wanted. And after getting goggles, definitely right. there's a lot of stars up there that aren't really stars. There's craft up there that stop, start, and they'll be flying along, three of them, and all three of them will slow up, wobble a little bit, and stabilize and sit right there and look like three stars. And instead, they're only 150 miles away, and their craft, they're either resting or charging their situation up, or they're waiting on patrol, and there's a whole network of stuff going on. And I believe that so much of it is our government, or the government, not ours, but whoever claims it, the Dark Ops, New World Order, the Nazi power, or NASA.
The shadow government. Hey, Ed, and how, just out of curiosity, what do you think is the actual percentage of the shadow government actually having, re-engineered or, back-engineered and then re-engineered these crafts from technology that actually crashed on the planet, and then how many crafts do you think are still coming in with so many different types of ET species coming to this planet?
Well, I would say that I'm 100% sure, because of what I've known and seen in the battles and the rescues and the taking place, and having a lot of information available by people that get a hold of me on the website, what they've seen and where they've been, and that I've went out and checked them out and have found them to be right, telling the truth, and there are craft that sometimes come in pretty close and give us some visiting. And I'm thinking that some of these are our military, and some are outside sources. And I think there are a group that is working with our military. And I know there's a group that wants to fight and try to come in. And it looks like they're being patrolled and kept out. Now, I don't know if they had some kind of agreement originally. A lot of people say, that they were allowed to take so many humans and for study, and a lot of that seemed to have taken place during Eisenhower's days. And
now, hold on, Ed. Now, are we talking about a specific group? Because this has been mentioned many, many times, and I certainly believer of this, that because I've seen too much evidence to say that it cannot not be true. The reptilians and the Greys is what we're talking about. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're talking about them, and then there's also a lot of other little species and different types. And our government's hiding it. They don't want you to know about all these species. And the knowledge that they're getting it, hanging on to it, because they want to have control over us. They want to have control over the government. And if we knew what was going on and who was out there, we might break away and not pay attention to government.
But haven't they had control since that time? I mean, really, look at where our civilization has ended up to this day right now. Doesn't that show that their control structure has been in place at least 70, 80 years? Maybe, well, I would say a lot longer, but it's really come to light within the last decade or so.
Yeah, definitely so. Alexander the Great, that was quite a few days ago, and he talks about chariots fighting in the heavens above him and spacecraft up there and fighting and blowing each other up. Then in 1561, Nuremberg, Germany, the whole town reported it.
Yeah,
And
I do know something about that. I remember watching a few videos on that and reading a few things about that. But this has been going on through centuries on this planet. Literally. This goes back to the time of Christ and before.
well, Christ's a little older than me, but in 1961, I saw them overhead while camping for a hunting trip in the Sierras in 1961. And then I saw them battling most of the night and off at considerable distance. And if you figure from 8 o'clock at night until like 5 or 6 in the morning when it's too light to see, and you count 45 craft lost, blown up, and a lot of them fighting and dogfighting with each other. So, it's not such a hard thing to understand when you look at how it's been going on for a long time. And that the people of our planet want to know the truth. They ask for the truth, but in some ways they're afraid to admit the truth, and that somebody out there is a lot stronger than us. Now, I guess some of the battles that I've seen, it's ridiculous on how people don't understand or look up for. And when you see something go off up there, it's like a big flash, that's because something blew up. And if it was close, you saw more, you saw a craft, or if you had the goggles.
Now, Ed, do you think... hold on. Let me just interject something here real quick. Do you think that when you see those, like you said, these flash blow up, do you think maybe these are our craft because we've simply tried to bank engineer these crafts, and because we don't have the full understanding and capability, but maybe know how to put together some of the anti-gravitics of these craft that our shadow government has been privy to? You think maybe that could be probably our crafts?
They're not just blowing up by accident. They're blowing up because they're having aggressive contact. And I don't know if it's because...
But that's my question. Is it ours? Do you think they're ours?
Oh, definitely some of them are ours. And I've seen some of ours battle with theirs. And we have some craft that will just really maneuver. But I haven't seen any of the modern, newer types, so it's hard to tell who's firing on who. But
well, yeah, and I definitely understand it. And we're coming up on a break here, real quick. So, the point of the matter is, how many of these crafts are ours? How many of these are extraterrestrial? How many have been back engineered from us that we have now this breakaway civilization type aircraft, or spacecraft, that are, mingling in our outer atmosphere with these extraterrestrial crafts? And I know there are many, many of these, but we'll get back to this right. Well, Ed, we're coming up on the break right now, so hold on to that, and we'll get right back to it. This is the Whole Agenda Radio Show. I'm your host, Robert Pino. We have Ed Grimsley with us. Stick with us. We'll be right back after this break.
Hurry up, Johnson. You're bringing it through here.
Gosh, sir.
We've been climbing the face of this pyramid for over 5 minutes. I'm exhausted.
Yeah, I can see you are. But I'm fine. Why is that, Johnson?
I don't know, sir.
Nutrition boy, I told you. I bought my food for this journey from the freeze-dry guy, and I got delicious, nutritious stuff, and I feel great. But you...
Sir, I've already heard that lecture.
Yeah, probably wasted time. Come on, Johnson, through that hatch right there.
Yes, sir.
Down these steps.
Coming, sir.
Through the door at the bottom, and here it is, Johnson. Behold.
Wow. A sarcophagus full of freeze-dried food.
And notice the variety.
Sir, that means even the ancient Egyptians knew about the freeze-dry guy.
No, it means I planted it here in 97 and it's still good.
Wow.
Let's eat, boy.
Yeah.
What do we have? Beef stroganoff?
Oh, yeah.
Chicken and noodles? Got some sweet and sour pork here.
Right, I'll take that.
This adventure is brought to you by the Freeze Dry Guy. Call 866-404-3663 or visit freezedryguy.com.
Hi, I'm Ronnie McMullen, spokesman for Life Change Tea. I want to share my enthusiasm for Life Change Tea because this product really works. I have spent many hours listening to hundreds of testimonies from people like you having their health be transformed because of this amazing product. When your mind makes the decision for a health change, Life Change Tea will help you to achieve your health goal. Reduce your weight, diminish bad bacteria, receive more energy, cleanse your skin, eliminate toxins, give health and energy to your vital organs. If you want to make a change in your health plan, call now. Call right now. 928-308-0408.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Whole Agenda Radio Show. I'm your host, Robert Pepino, and we have the incredible Mr. Ed Grimsley with us. Ed, and I know you were just getting ready to say something just before we went to the break, but I had asked you the question of how many of these crafts do you believe are ours, how many are extraterrestrial, and about the back engineering of these crafts, and maybe that's why so many of our own breakaway shadow government dealings here may be going awry in the outer atmosphere of our planet.
Well, I believe that we have over 3,000 craft because Gary McKenna, when going through the bookwork, he that, and they also, the larger craft that I see sometimes appear to carry smaller craft inside of them as if they were fighters, and some were able to go out over the ocean or anywhere they want to submerge. They have a number of vehicles inside, rise up, go out, and have those craft on patrol. And I've seen them exit from craft. I've seen them come back in. I've got video of 7 of them that showed up, taking off and flying over Albuquerque, New Mexico 3 years ago. And the people that was with me was photographing with my equipment. And when we played the thing back, I got to watch. It's amazing. And I think that we have, when Gary McKenna was looking into it, at least 3,000 craft. And I think we have more because there was a few that probably wasn't in that count or calculation. And they're building and putting together some now. And whether it's in Hangar 51 or Moffett Field or where it is, they're building more craft. And that's why I think your tax dollars is being hidden and millions of dollars not accounted for through the Pentagon. I mean, I'm sure that George Bush got his share of pocket money, but it's funny, to many places we have a secret space program. We know that for sure. Craft that are not the fighter jet type thing. We have the superior type craft. And they have got these, back engineered them, and have made it so that we have flying machines as good as them, or perhaps even better. And I don't think they want to let the Irish population go to them, but yet at the same time, I see fighting, and you wonder if they're trying to make a standing point with our government. Look, we can stuff you anytime, so just fly around and relax and don't worry about us. But we also see a craft that's very small, circling and going through maneuvers down real low that look similar to those craft made the crop circle.
And those would be unmanned crafts.
Yeah, they're definitely warped.
Okay. You brought up a good point, Ed. The fact of the matter is, just before 9/11 happened, that Donald Rumsfeld was saying that just the day before that they couldn't account for $2.3 trillion. They simply misplaced it, was lost. I would say that would be one of the things that our money has been funding part of these black ops projects.
Definitely. And a lot of people that were investigating that and asking questions was at the Pentagon, just happened to be there asking more. And that's right exactly where it got hit. And those people were killed. A lot of people don't know it, but they were going to tear up the United States, get the information they wanted, find out why they were withholding it, why it was a secret. Secret is that the more knowledge they have, the less that we have. And the power sources, you're just going to have to hope for the best, because we need to survive this. And I don't know who's on whose side, but basically I think it's a good against evil type battle. So let's hope for the best, pray for that the guidance will be right, and that good guys will come out on top.
Well, I believe that we are the good guys, and I think we will come out on top because, as far as you and I and everybody else who's come forward or just know information or has learned the information to bring all this forward, we are the good guys. We're the ones saying, look, this is what's going on. Everybody needs to pay attention. From the Federal Fake Express Reserve to the shadow government, to Monsanto, to the chemtrails, to the fluoride in the water, and it goes on and on and on. But, Ed, I just want to throw this out there, because I forgot to do this at the beginning of the hour. For anybody who wants to call in and join this conversation, the number is 1-888-747-1968. I encourage you to call in, ask Ed a question, ask myself a question if I'm able to answer it for you. Join in the conversation, whatever's on your mind. Please call in. We always look forward to people's thoughts, ideas, and questions. Ed, please continue. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Well, no, that's just part of the program. We got to communicate and get it open there. And, it's hard for me to try to tell everything that I've seen and known, because I've been doing this for a long time, and then getting the goggles and showing the world how they work and where they can get the goggles and see. And I've got people reporting to me from overseas as well as here, calling me at late hours and let me know how many craft they saw, what the experience, and that they were so glad they heard me on Coast to Coast, not because now they have goggles and they're getting out about it, so they're getting to see the truth.
You're right. You know what? Doesn't Cliff High own a pair of goggles that he purchased from you?
Yeah, he purchased a pair from me, and I told him how to look and where and what time, and he's been doing a hell of a good job, and he's sent people my way for more goggles, and he also is going out looking and seeing, and when it does good, that you tell them, well, north, you'll see it, and he's looking north, and suddenly there it is, and there's craft that fly 3, 6 together, 5. There's 2s. There's a lot of 1 already.
Hey, Ed, quick question here. Now, I know a lot of these Delta craft, and we talked about this, I believe, last time, is that we have these Delta-shaped crafts, which are basically triangular in form. And
there's some that look like a Conquered jet type.
I'm sorry, you broke up on that. What'd you say?
There's some that looks like a type of Conquered jet, and there's some that look like a boomerang.
Oh, so and the boomerang types were like the ones that were originally described by, oh gosh, his name is slipping out of my mind right now, but that's who brought the term flying saucer into the American public's eye. That was pilot, what was his name? I can't remember. But you know who I'm talking about, right?
Well, no, but I'll go along.
Okay. I can't remember his name
Are you
right
talking
now.
about the man over in Switzerland that...
No. I'm talking about the American pilots here in the United States, and it's not coming to my mind right now, and I apologize to the audience.
There's
just
been
so
a lot
many
of
names.
pilots and report them and then get laughed at, so they don't as much report them. But now there's been a code where at a certain point they give that code, and that means they've got a sighting. So I don't think they're still trying to shoot them down so much in the atmosphere or down here close. I think that there are types that we're friendly with, and I think they help us patrol, and then there is types that we're not friendly with, and that maybe we're not allowing them to come in anymore because maybe the abduction, maybe harvesting the fish from the ocean, or trying to take out gold or whatever. So you just gotta know that they're doing things every day, and you don't know what they're doing.
And you're right.
And our government knows far more. They're just playing stupid, and NASA knows what's going on. And I think that they want to keep us in the dark. Because if they share the knowledge with us, then we'll be as smart as them. I believe they want to keep us not knowing what's going on, so that they are in power and they can keep control of us. And unless we get knowledge, what good does it do if we don't have anybody that will stand up for us or look at what we need? I'll shoot little comments here and there from a senator or somebody else, but not the people aggressively trying to say, look, tell us the truth. You know, it's not a legitimate government. It's not telling us the truth. And I believe that the Nazi war machine, when they lost the war, they got Operation Paperclip going, and we brought some of the scientists and top people over. Russia took some, and we've been working on these things for years with them, but have they taken over now and get control? It's who's pulling the chain. I don't know. But I know that our government at different levels have super intelligent seeking it like let's see, I'm trying to put it somewhere. They're seeking all the knowledge and they're not sharing it. So
well, when you say they have all the knowledge and they're not sharing it, because seeking it, I think they've already found it. I just think they're not sharing it. Now, I think it's most of the. I would say that most of the technology that they have is probably that's been given to them is quite antiquated.
Well, I think that we have some knowledge from what was taking place, and I think we captured some craft. I think that we got friendly, maybe had a dinner together or two, and certain people will sit there and say, we're going to control this part of the world. Somebody else is going to control another part. And unless we get a citizens alliance together, get mom and pop and all the other people meet at the grocery store and going out and forming a citizens alliance, we're going to get lied to. And if we get lied to, how will we know? How do we know what the real truth is? So, until we know what the truth is, we're just at mercy. And there's laws that are being made to control us and keep controlling us.
And now I remember the name that I wanted to bring up was Kenneth Arnold. He was the one who coined the phrase. It was actually flying saucers in 1947, which was exactly at the same time that the Roswell crash took place.
Yeah, but that's sort of, they had knowledge about it. They were working on some of it. But that's sort of like the icing on the cake that was exposing them and what they've been doing. So did people come back, go back to Germany, back to the moon? Where did the beings go that is in charge? They're the ones with the knowledge. They're playing with the machines and getting them to go faster. And the things that are going so fast can actually use speeds of near the speed of light. And these things are not just an accident.
Well, you're right. Absolutely. It's not an accident. But here's another question for you, Ed. Because I've talked to Jim Nichols and many others about this, and the fact of the Vrillian Society, which they named back in World War II, they had the Foo Fighters, which were these illuminated crafts, which later became called Vril ships. So you think probably that they already had this technology prior to 1947 Roswell crash, which was maybe from another group of, our extraterrestrial brothers and sisters out there, and they happen upon this information.
Well, in the records in Germany, they have found some of the records that show that the Germans had Bellcraft and other captured vehicles, had been back engineering, and doing things, and supposedly got to the moon in 1938. So we weren't the first to the moon. It looks like the Germans were in their flying craft. So,
well, my personal belief on the moon is that what we created here in the United States was a fairy tale, a hoax, to pull the blanket over the people of the United States, to pull the blanket over their eyes, that we never actually went to the moon. There's so much evidence that's out there saying that everything they did was staged. But I believe, personal belief on this, Ed, is that while everything was being staged for the American public, and Disney was a big player in this, by the way, while they were staging the effects of all this, okay, and I believe also that the set for 2001 by Stanley Kubrick was also used in the staging of the set, and this was brought to light to me by Jay Widener, which I find him an incredible guy, and we got to get him on this show. Is that the whole purpose behind this? Just let me finish this real quick, Ed. The whole purpose behind that was that, okay, we'll stage that we went to the moon, but they already had the off-world technology at that point to go to the moon. So what they did is stage the hoax here on the planet, or have been able to go to the moon back and forth many, many times with this off-world technology that they have created.
They have a power supply and gravity machines that can anti-gravity and go right on out with not a noise, just easily go to the moon when they want. And I don't know if people are aware, but I think that aliens helped Hitler, and they wanted to take over and rule the world with Hitler. And I think that the United States got some help in World War II, and they enabled us to fight back. And it could be a good side, dark side of alien, but there was definitely knowledge held in. And from the past end of the whole thing, that we're not being told the truth, that it's going on out there before and now, and always say the third or the fourth or whatever day you want to go out, do a sky watch, you will find craft out there flying, because it's not a hoax, it's the truth. And people are often afraid of the truth. And we've allowed them to lie and manipulate us for too long. We need the truth. We need to know what they're really doing. It's like, how can we be the people running the country, things like by the people, for the people? How do you do that if you're not told the truth? So
that's always the problem, isn't it? And when have we ever known the truth? The only truth that's being told is on programs like this and many others, and speakers like yourself who've been on the inside situation. I mean, you were in the military. You know. You've spoken with many, many people on this, and you know what has taken place. Now, there's only so much you can say, because you don't want to put your life in jeopardy, and I understand that. I wouldn't want to do that either. But the bottom line is that this country and all the rest of the countries around the world have been lied to by the propped up puppet government that sits in front of us to keep us fighting with, Republic, Democrat, liberal, all this nonsense, which actually means absolutely nothing. Reality is they keep taking our money They spend it on all these different programs, and this Black Ops project is probably where most of the money gets funneled into, including all these underground bases that they have built. And I know you're very well aware of that, Ed.
Oh yeah, there's military bases all around the world, and special locations that you wouldn't even think anything is there. You might be out looking and gawking around with glasses, see some energy coming in, recognize it, look at it, and have it be a craft, go to a base someplace.
It's quite incredible, all of it in its own, you know. I mean, let me ask you this, Ed, and not getting too deep into the governmental side of things, because I know that's something you can't talk about. But as a young boy, when you started experiencing this, did you actually maybe at one point did you maybe feel or maybe go through an abduction experience yourself?
Well, I don't know if I've been totally abducted, taken off someplace, but I do know that I've had some things happen that was not explainable, and it appears that they have examined me for quite well, and basically they can wave and control your mind. You're not going to know for sure. You'll feel it. You'll sense it. There's an often thing that you could have it done, have it erased, and then they come back and snap a finger or say a certain word, and so you're right back not knowing.
So it's almost like a type of hypnosis.
I would say hypnosis is probably a word for it, but I think they have a way of communicating when they want to and erasing the communication.
Okay.
So
well, Ed, hold on.
You don't remember it.
Ed, hold on to that thought. We're coming up on a break here real quick. There's so many more questions I want to ask you. Anyway, everybody stick with us. This is the Whole Agenda Radio Show. I'm your host, Robert Pino, and we are speaking with Ed Grimsley, UFO researcher and observer, and has seen incredible things through his military-grade goggles, and this is just going to get deeper and deeper. Everybody stick with us. We'll be right back after this break.
Hurry up, Johnson. You're bringing it through here. Gosh, sir. We've been climbing the face of this pyramid for over 5 minutes. I'm exhausted. Yeah, I can see you are. But I'm fine. Why is that, Johnson? I don't know, sir. Nutrition, boy. I told you. I bought my food for this journey from the freeze-dry guy, and I got delicious, nutritious stuff, and I feel great. But you... Sir, I've already heard that lecture. Yeah, probably a waste of time. Come on, Johnson. Through that hatch right there. Yes, sir. Down these steps. Come on, sir. Through the door at the bottom, and here it is, Johnson. Behold. Wow! A sarcophagus full of freeze-dried food. And notice the variety. Sir, that means even the ancient Egyptians knew about the freeze-dry guy. No, it means I planted it here in 97 and it's still good. Wow. Let's eat, boy. Yeah. What do we have? Beef stroganoff? Oh, yeah. Chicken and noodles? Got some sweet and sour pork here. Right. I'll take that.
This adventure is brought to you by the Freeze-Dry Guy. Call 866-404-3663 or visit freezedryguy.com.
Hi, I'm Ronnie McMullen, spokesman for Life Change Tea. I want to share my enthusiasm for Life Change Tea because this product really works. I have spent many hours listening to hundreds of testimonies from people like you having their health be transformed because of this amazing product. When your mind makes the decision for a health change, Life Change Tea will help you to achieve your health goal. Reduce your weight, diminish bad bacteria, Receive more energy. Cleanse your skin. Eliminate toxins. Give health and energy to your vital organs. If you want to make a change in your health plan, call now. Call right now. 928-308-0408. Again, 928-308-0408. Or you can log on to the website at getthet.com. That's getthet.com. Make up your mind and choose the right path. That's getthet.com.
It's the Micro Effect. The Micro Effect Broadcasting Network.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Whole Agenda Radio Show. I am your host, Robert. We have our very special guest, Ed Grimsley. Man has been through quite a bit in his life. He has been able to discover, through his own common sense ability, to be able to see these craft over our heads, just above our atmosphere. It's simply incredible to understand what this man is saying unless you've seen his videos or actually experienced this on a personal level, which is why I've been promoting Ed for October for the Skywatch, which looks like it's going to be pushed back in November because the timing is actually not quite right, with Halloween coming right around the corner on October 29th. So we're going to try for November. Ed, get back to what we were talking about. And I want to get back on a personal level here. I mean, your whole life, you have gone through these experiences from a young boy through adulthood and, of course, later on in life. And you're still a young man, by the way. So I'm not calling you an old fogey by any chance, okay? I know you got plenty of life in you. But the bottom line is that you have worked effortlessly, to make everybody understand what you have seen, what you have gone through.
Well, let me put it this way. I have told the world a lot, but there is so much more going on, and there are so many things being done. And I know what I'm looking at. I know what I'm seeing. And I already know the truth, what's taking place. It's figured out. But the thing is that people have a hard enough time thinking about UFOs and that, let alone
when they're just trying to pay their bills. I know, Ed. I know.
Yeah, they are forced. They are forced to look at day to day and wishing there could be a tomorrow, and at the same time kept busy so that they don't have a time to go out and stand up for themselves or see what's going on. And it's so disgusting that what the government is doing to the people, that it makes you want to vomit. And I got a heavy stomach, so I'm okay. But when you are in control and you're supposed to be working for the people, and instead you're manipulating them and lying to them and getting their money so you can do what you want, run your own secret space program, a breakaway society where they don't include us as part of it. We're dispendable. We can we can be lost. We can have it go down as long as they can cut back on population and stay in control. It's ridiculous.
And you're right. And they've proven that war after war after war. They sent our sons and daughters, fathers and mothers, to go die in senseless, needless wars to create more money for these factions, okay, while leaving us in poverty, Ed.
Yeah, it's like we're robbing from the poor to give to the rich. And I know your nickname is Rob, and it's not Robin Hood. But
right.
Robin would if he could.
That's exactly right. Now
here's
go ahead, Ed. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Okay. The thing is that all through history, somebody wants something that somebody else has. One king wants what another king has. So they use the subject to fight their holy wars or their crapola wars, whatever you want to call them. But we, the people, don't end up with money. We, the people, end up with dead comrades, wounded people, veterans, things that are trying to survive now, and they have millions of dollars in their pockets, and we have veterans with loss of limbs, with anxiety attacks, with bad memories, and you show up at the Veterans Hospital, and you get a number, you go someplace, you get an appointment, and then a month later you're able to get another appointment if you're lucky, and they'll talk, they'll communicate, and you get very little really done. And outside practice, you would get better treatment. But the vets have all medical facilities, and yet I was there today, got some medicine, got some things, and told come back in a month. Tried to make an appointment, and the nearest one I get is a month and a half. So they give you a little piece of pie to make you feel good, and then they leave you linger. And to me, that's not what we served for. That's not what we put up with. And why should we settle for less? Now, I've been in the hospital for heart problems, diabetic problems. I had some pretty good injuries in service, and I had to learn how to read and write over it. I had head trauma. I was blind for a few days. I had injuries to my back and was paralyzed for a few weeks. And, you know, knocking on their door to get help for pain and things if you hurt or rehab or whatever, it's like butting your head against the wall. They talk a good show. They walk the walk. But they don't do the job as well as they should. And there's so much more to be done for the veterans and the people who fought for your country. And, you know, we go out, we fight for the country, only to come home and see politicians or secret space programs taking it away. And we practically have no rights left compared to what we had 50 years ago. And it's extremely bad. They don't even teach the Constitution anymore because they don't want you to know what it means. If you know what it means, you might throw it up in their face.
Well, our Constitution has been almost all eradicated. If it wasn't for the guns that or for the guns that our Second Amendment allows us to have, this country would have been finished a long time ago through these bankster mobsters.
Well, you got to be able to have a gangster, good guy, bad guy, whatever. You got to have a gun in your home. You can't call a cop and expect one on your shoulders. You have to have the guts to stand up. That's what you need to do, because you're not going to get a second chance. I think people don't realize how they're letting it be taken away, and those who have fought for it know what it is, see it more, and letting it take it away from us. The worst mistake we could ever make, because our relatives, grandfathers and fathers, fought for freedom so that we could have the truth, have the knowledge. And the Senate or the Congress, whoever stupidness it is, passed a rule that we can't have a garden.
Right.
We can't grow our own food, can't grow your own food. And they started out with a garden, came here, and they were freed up and able to grow. Now they're going to try to take this away from you, so you have to buy everything from the big brother. You can only plant food in certain places. You check people like Eric Benson. This is Angwin. His father and I grew up together. Fred Benson. Great man. He thought about running for Senate now, but hasn't yet. And his son was a Navy SEAL. I knew him when he was born. I watched him grow up. And to see him die in that helicopter, and Obama gave out bragging rights and said, oh yeah, it's my Navy SEAL team. We got Bin Laden. When he did that, he put a target on every one of those people's heads and their families. And I think it should not have been done. His father and I have talked a little bit, but not as much as we should. I don't know how to comfort him, but I know he needs comforting because his son was the greatest thing in the world. And his son put it all on the line for his country. And the thing is, the government doesn't even tell the truth. So when will it get better? I don't know. But I'm not the president. But if I was, you'd know the truth. Hell or high water, you'd know the truth. We have medical programs where they're going to give you a doctor and charge you so much a month. Did they forget that you have the right to choose your doctor or the type of doctor you want, or if you even want doctors, or if you want to be an herbalist or whatever? So how can they put a medical plan out there that says we're going to charge you all so much a month, and that's going to be your medical plan?
Well, it's definitely not something I forgot, Ed. It's something they implemented because these terrorists, and this is what they are terrorists against the citizens of the United States of America and the rest of the world. These terrorists have implemented these plans for this total control structure grid. See, it was not enough just to control the money.
You mean the New World Order, boys? They want the money, but they also want our souls.
Correct.
And We have to stand up for all of it. You know, I've tried to start a few years ago, and it's still working a little bit, but it needs some fire and brimstone under it. But Citizens Alliance.
What is that, Ed?
Okay, it's where all the citizens of the United States can be a member, and citizens of other countries can be a member of their country. But we pull together as the brotherhood of man, helping man. And when somebody in Iran is a member, they say, wait a minute, we don't want to attack the United States. We don't want war. And somebody in the United States, CIA or Dark Ops or whatever, says, oh, no, they did this, they did that, and we need to get them. And then the people that are citizens here and the citizens that there can communicate through internet, other things, and say, look, we want to be happy. We want to have love. We won't want war. If somebody's selling bombs or somebody looking for more gasoline wants to go out and have a battle because they make money on wars. We lose lives and cost us. They make money. And the old thing of saying the rich get richer and the poor get children,
yeah.
I'll take children any time as long as we can guide them and help them. And as far as money, I've been a millionaire a couple of times, and I hate to admit it, but it only takes 2 or 3 years to spend $1 million.
Oh,
I
sure.
was going overseas into Fiji and volunteering and putting water lines in villages, making showers out of sprinklers and running water lines down into the village, building showers, and tell them stop bathing in the river, get the fresh water for their cooking, their pots or facilities. And I would do stupid things that was really beautiful, like buying Johnson's baby soap, getting a good deal on small bathing tubs, and shipping 100 over, going out to an island or a village, and show the mothers how to bathe their babies and get the mosquito bites and get poison in the pus out of them, green, skanky poison, and teaching them how to wash their heads and do that, and giving a solution. It was kind of a little thing I found out about that can use a certain mouthwash, and you can mix it with water and spray it around you, on the ground and around you, or in an eating area. The mosquitoes won't come. And if they do, they hit the ground. That's it.
So it's a natural repellent.
Yeah, it's mouthwash.
It's and that's the thing, Ed, because of your experience and so much that you have gone through and bringing all the truth forward. And it's not just about UFOs. I mean, yes, that's a big proponent of it, but I think the humanitarian side of it is as important, if not more important, because these monsters have created a system in order to dismantle countries worldwide. And they have done this. You have watched this. I have watched this. How they have taken these countries apart through their fictitious paper system. Okay? And they're still using that same paper, by the way, on our real interest to create all these, these exotic technologies, these underground bases, and all these multi-conglomerational companies to destroy people's lives, to depopulate the planet according to their Agenda 21 plan. And I think at this point, so many people are starting to wake up that I think they're so afraid right now, Ed. I truly do. And I know you might have a difference of opinion on this, but I think they're so afraid at this point because our own military is awakening to what these terrorists have plotted against us since 9/11, and it goes much deeper than I know, but I'm just using that as an example. against the citizens of this country, this once great country now that has been reduced to complete poverty through the federal fake express reserve system and through these multi-conglomerate national companies who have destroyed the essence of this country, my friend.
Well, they're so full of crap. The county governments, the city governments, the state, the federal level, that what they're doing is they're out of control on over-controlling you, and they have so much control on the human being now that you can't earn a living because you got a mile of paperwork, or you got to go get a permit, wait in line, and it'll take 6 months to a year to get a permit to build the house, and the environmental impact, and the reports, this and that. Well, building all the houses we wanted doesn't make as much smoke and bang and pollution as a war. But they make money on that war, and they're going to try and control you. Now look at the ability of our young. They're fed up. They know they're getting lied to. They know they're being manipulated, and they're saying, we don't give a damn. We don't want to hear the crap anymore. And I'll tell you, if the parents don't listen to their kids, they're in trouble. Their kids can see the lies. Their kids can tell. I can tell. You can tell. But when we do figure it out, we can't do anything about it because we don't have a Citizens Alliance fast enough, hard enough, strong enough to stand up for us. How many times did you see stuff going on that's a lie, and you know it's a lie, and you could prove it's a lie, but you don't have any power to go in and do any of that?
Well,
How
on
many
a daily
times?
basis.
Right. And when they pass laws saying that you can be arrested, it's a federal offense to grow your own food and have a farm and raise it, and the neighbor wants a gallon of milk that lives down the road, and you got a cow. Oh, you're a criminal if you sell a gallon of milk. And by the Food and Healthy Safety Act, another excuse for more control.
Yeah, that's the Codex Alimentarius Act, Ed. And it's disgusting, and it's unconstitutional, and they actually have no authority over the Constitution in any way, shape, or form, but people are being bullied and manipulated into actually believing this nonsense.
Well, let me put it this way. An ordinance is supposed to be a temporary rule or law that can be put in place in case of an emergency, and it's supposed to be voted on the nearest or next election. But they don't put it up for vote. They don't let you vote on it. They'll say, oh, you've got to have a 4-foot fence. We don't allow a 6-foot fence now. But if you put up a 6-foot fence, they'll come along and fine you so much a day till you tear it down and then build a 4-foot one back up. Not just cut 2 feet off, but tear it down and start over, or you won't get a permit. This
Right,
is
which
the
is
way
complete nonsense.
The bully says, you do what I want or you can't do anything. I own you. I'm sorry, they don't own me, and I know they don't own you. And the more that people stand up, the better it'll get. But we roll over and we let them maneuver us, manipulate us, tax us, and control us so they can get a better wage, so they can get more money controlling us. And the more control and the more over-control, the worse it's going to be. And if you want to see hell on earth, just let them keep going. I mean, let me put it this way. There's a great shortage of doctors in medical care. and we teach English at school, or we teach some philosophy, or we teach some poetry. But how about I'm not saying I'm running, okay? But if I was president and I had the power, I would put it in the school system, and when you were 8, 9 years old, you would have doctors that are retired, or medics, or nurses that would come to school every week, and you would get a first aid class. Then you would get about the human body class and how to do CPR and do all these things that makes you medical wise. Right. And you would be studying the human body. It's you. It's your brother. It's your mother, your father. Everybody that's about you has got a body.
But that's what they've kept from us, Ed. That's exactly what they've kept from us. They've taught us absolutely nothing in public schools. They've only taught us to know the basic necessities to do the paperwork and to do a little bit of the math. But the reality is that the ones who are part of this system, who keep on with this control structure, are the ones who are really taught the real understanding of education and what the understanding of the technologies and medicine and mathematics. And this is how they perpetuated their own agenda forward to keep us dumbed down and them in a position of power.
Yeah, it's like there are so many simple things that can cure an illness or a headache or a problem that's going on, and they don't want you to know the simple treatment. They want you to go to the store, fire up that medicine, do it. And there's so many medicines that cost 8, 10 cents a pill to make. And when you buy it, and it depends on how critical you need it, $300 for a bottle of 30.
Right.
And you go back and you find out, whoa, they manufactured that for $3, $4.
Right.
And it's proven.
Well, the markup is what, 1,000%?
I don't know. It's more than what I can. I'm glad I'm a vet and get medication, but yet the way I have to go through hell to get treatment and things, come back 30 days from now, do that. You go to the hospital to get one thing taken care of, and they test you. They put you in the hospital 3 days. You go to the hospital, your eyesight and everything is fine. You go to the hospital, and you come back with a eye infection from a pillow, somebody coughing on you or doing something, and then you're fighting an eye infection of some weird type for a year. And, that's just all crazy. So when you got health, stay as far as you can from a hospital.
You're
absolutely right, Ed. You got to communicate, and you got to know what medicine is.
You're right. You're absolutely right, and I agree with you 100% on this, and we'll pick this up after the commercial break coming up here. Anyway, this is the Whole Agenda Radio Show. I'm your host, Robert Pepino. We're talking with Ed Grimsley, incredible man who's had incredible experiences in life. He's been a veteran and discoverer of the outside source of entities flying above our heads, not to mention a patent holder. We will be right back after this break. Ladies and gentlemen, please stick with us. We'll be right back after this break.
Hi, I'm Ronnie McMullen, spokesman for Life Change Tea. I want to share my enthusiasm for Life Change Tea because this product really works. I have spent many hours listening to hundreds of testimonies from people like you having their health be transformed because of this amazing product. When your mind makes the decision for a health change, Life Change Tea will help you to achieve your health. Reduce your weight, diminish bad bacteria, receive more energy, cleanse your skin, eliminate toxins, give health and energy to your vital organs. If you want to make a change in your health plan, call now. Call right now. 928-308-0408. Again, 928-308-0408. Or you can log on to the website at getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Make up your mind and choose the right path. That's getthetea.com.
Hurry up, Johnson. You're bringing it through here. Gosh, sir. We've been climbing the face of this pyramid for over 5 minutes. I'm exhausted. Yeah, I can see you are. But I'm fine. Why is that, Johnson? I don't know, sir. Nutrition boy, I told you. I bought my food for this journey from a freeze-dry guy, and I got delicious, nutritious stuff, and I feel great. But you... Sir, I've already heard that lecture. Yeah, probably a waste of time. Come on, Johnson. Through that hatch right there. Yes, sir. Down these steps. Come on, sir. Through the door at the bottom, and here it is, Johnson. Behold. Wow! A sarcophagus full of freeze-dried food. And notice the variety. Sir, that means even the ancient Egyptians knew about the freeze-dry guy. No, it means I planted it here in 97 and it's still good. Wow. Let's eat, boy. Yeah. What do we have? Beef stroganoff? Oh, yeah. Some chicken and noodles. Got some sweet and sour pork here. Right, I'll take that.
This adventure is brought to you by the Freeze Dry Guy. Call 866-404-3663 or visit freezedryguy.com.
Regardless of the dollar price involved, 1 ounce of gold would purchase a good quality man's suit at the conclusion of the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, the presidency of Franklin Roosevelt, and today.
And welcome back, everyone, to the Whole Agenda Radio Show. I'm your host, Robert Pepino. We are talking with the incredible Ed Grimsley. Right off the bat here, I just want to say that for anybody who wants to call into the show and express their ideas, voice their opinion on anything, the number is 1-888-747-1968. I encourage you to call in, ask Ed a question, or even a thought or an idea that's on your mind. And the situation is this, ladies and gentlemen, that whether this is about UFOs, whether it's about the government corruption, it all leads down to the same thing. The controlling oligarchs who steer and control our lives down this path, which we do not have to go. And I think we are finally coming to a great awakening. Now, I want to make another announcement here that Ed and I, together on my show, will be hosting a Friday night roundtable starting in mid-November, where Ed and I will be doing a roundtable with a series of different guests. And it'll be everybody's thoughts and ideas laid on the table, how we can hopefully break free from these tyrannical structures that these monsters have created. We'll talk about UFOs. We will talk about the underground bases and everything that this show is really about. Of course, the Codex and the Agenda 21, and it's all part of it. It all leads back to the same thing, the controlling structure who has put this mind control system over this entire planet. But we are finally waking up. We are understanding how we've been manipulated. We are starting to fight back, like programs like this one and many, many others. Ed, please, I want you to add a little something to this because I feel it's so important what we're going to create starting in November.
Well, we've just been sitting back, trying to do a little bit, finding out we can't do enough. And we're going to be able to do enough if we have you help us, support us, work with us, sponsor us, whatever we need to do. And let us show you the truth. Let us tell you the truth. It's difficult to recognize it because you've been lied to so much. you that UFOs are real, when I tell you we're flying all over space and our secret government, our secret space program is doing it, that's because they're leaving you behind. They don't need you. They don't want you to know the truth. And it's just more.
Well, we're expendable containers, Ed.
Yeah, but I'm not a plastic container. I'm a steel can.
See, and that's the attitude I like, because that's the way I feel too, Ed. We are all souls on this planet. We all have worth. We all have value. We all have something to bring to humanity, and that's what these terrorists don't understand.
Well, let me tip something to you that you will understand. Anyone listening out there tonight, if you do something bad or wrong, or you kind of cut that corner, or you cheat your neighbor or whatever, if you feel good inside about that, you got a problem. It doesn't mean you're a redneck. It's you got a problem. But if you do something good, and you feel good inside and you glow all over and it makes you, that's because, like, when I was a little guy, my dad said, son, if it's bad, don't do it. And if it's worth doing, make sure it's good. No good, don't do it. And I looked at my dad and I said, Dad, I'm 10 years old. You're confusing me. And he says, it won't take you long. Just use that rule. How long do you think it'll take you to figure it out? Don't do it if it's not good enough to do.
And definitely if it's not good enough for somebody else.
This is how crazy I am, okay? The president of Fiji and the prime minister in Fiji and that, I told him something that I helped him out with, and there were some problems going on, and so I volunteered, and I actually helped overthrow a government. And it's a long story, and it's another Ed Grimsley thing. It was in 1987, and there was a coup in Fiji, and there was people ordering guns and doing crazy things. And I found out by accident because I looked like a gun runner, and they came to me on vacation and started talking to me about guns and when they were being delivered and the shipments and all that. And so then I went to my scuba diving buddy that was Fijian, and his father-in-law was quite up in the commands of things, and his uncle was colonel or major in Buka then. And I told him what I discovered and what I found out, and I really didn't want to die, because if they realized they were telling the wrong guy and talking to him, they might want to shoot me. So they changed my looks and made me look better, and I ended up in presidential meetings and jurors and talking about what was going on. And they listened. And then they did something about it. They found all the gun containers, they found the grenade launchers, and everything that I was told about, and that I was the guy coming back to pick them and deliver them from Lebanon. And I had just let my hair grow out, had a shabby beard, and I was wanting to go hunting in New Zealand, fishing for a month.
Uh-huh.
And on my way through, that's what happened to me. And so then I turned it around, and that's how the coup happened in 87. But I got to be friends with all those people that trusted and the truth of it. And then my son wanted to be a baseball player, professional and that, and he was really good. And I've coached Little League and around baseball all my life. And I told the Prime Minister of Fiji, look, you need to teach these kids some Little League type baseball and that. I mean, cricket, stick, and playing out there with no toys or nothing. And they said, well, can you put it together? I said, sure. So I went to all these Major League Baseball teams and lost mitts and things that never got claimed. I got used baseballs. I got that. I did a paving job and made like $3,000 on this job, and I took all the money from this job, and I went and bought some baseballs more and some bats and all that. And Qantas Airlines, the president who I knew of Qantas was Sabrina Burr, and she made arrangements for us to haul all this stuff over. And when we did, she got surprised on how many boxes we had.
I think that's
anyway,
awesome.
Yeah, but they did it because they also managed the airlines from the Air Pacific from Fiji owns it, and they share it and manage it. So in turn, my son says, Dad, do you notice that the kids don't really have much like a Christmas time or nothing over there, and they don't get toys and gifts and presents and that? And this was on a previous trip, that one was. And I said, yeah, I noticed that. And he says, I got a lot of friends that's got old toys and things that we don't use. And he says, do you notice that they probably could use shoes once in a while, and some of them don't wear shoes much? And he's observing all this stuff. And, that's pretty good at 13 years old or something. And
absolutely. Yes.
And so anyway, he says, let's put the word out. So we started telling people in our town, hey, any toys, anything, we're going to get free shipment, and we're going to give toys to Fijian kids. And before we know it, one was home, another, and mother was saying, hey, my kid got this toys that he doesn't use anymore. They're just sitting over in the corner or buried in a box. Can I bring it down? Yeah, fine. And so next thing I know is we're going to the grocery store and any place we could, and we're getting used boxes, bags, and we're putting stuff in there. And so we're calling Sarita Burr up, and she's, okay, we might not make it all in one airplane, but we'll get it. We started delivering stuff to their airport, and they tag it, ship it over, and then it was waiting for us. So we got rental vehicles over there, and we went out to some of the islands where the kids didn't work in that, and we would take boxes of toys and goodies out there by boat. And then, if it was before Christmas, we'd have them a day, what we told them it was a pre-Christmas day, because we were not be there. And we weren't really Santa Claus. He lived on the North Pole. And so we got people in the village to help us. And we'd have these boxes set up there, and there'd be 100 or 150 kids. And there'd be a girls' line and a boys' line. And we had boxes of toys opened and laid on the ground, and they would all get to come and pick a toy.
That's fantastic.
And they were so excited. There's kids, 12 years old, that had never got a present before. And they're so excited. They're hugging each other. They're laughing. They're giggling. They're so excited. And I'm not exaggerating one bit. They were literally losing their bladder control. and letting down their leg or their pass because they were that excited. And when we pulled that off, and these kids had all these toys, then we'd go to another place, and then we'd see the same thing again, and the kids all so excited, they'd lose bladder control. I mean, there was an illness caused. It was happiness caused. And when you got some kids feeling that happy, they probably still remember my because I'm the guy that brought them their present, and my son and I did it. And another cute story about it was that my son, I think he was 10 or 12, whatever, but he was in the scout. And, you know, they put a badge on you, but they turn you upside down, they're joking, and they badge on you. And when you do good deeds, you get to turn your badge around. And about 6 months later, I said to my son, I said, son, maybe we should tell them what you did about collecting toys and all that. He says, oh, they know. They brought me some of the toys. And I says, well, your badge is still on upside down. He says, I know, Dad, but that's not a good deed, he says. He says, I did that because I wanted to. And then he was looking for a little old lady to help cross the street or something. So anyway, I told his scoutmaster guy about it, and he just started laughing, and so they gave him some kind of award, throwing it off, and John upright. And,
But Ed, you know what? It goes to show you the humanity that still exists on this planet. Love for one another. We are all brothers and sisters on this planet. And with that love, I think we'll be able to defeat these monsters who have created this system of destruction. It's a self-defeating system, what they've created. And I think they created that purposefully for the times and events that are taking place right now, my friend.
Yeah, and that's what I say about what my dad just said when he was alive. He said, if it's not worth doing, don't do it. And if it's good, do it, you know, kind of thing. And it makes you feel good. I mean, when I think about how I felt and helped those kids and their lines to haul gifts and things over there, and then they did it again for us when we fought baseball, you know how cool it is to have your 16-year-old son helping you, and the Fiji president and government let us have a patrol boat with a 50 caliber on the front of it and four engines, and they would pick us up and haul us out to an island at 40 miles an hour, and we'd run all night long, get to another island, and we'd spend 2 days there and pass out gloves and bat, balls, and we'd have kids lining up. And I would drill them on how to hold the glove, how to move it, bounce the ball, throw the ball, how to snap your wrist, do all that stuff. And I was giving them lessons on it. I mean, the parents in the villages helped us, and showing them what to do. And 2-3 days later, they'd have a barbecue and a big feast for us and honor us, and we'd just back on the boat, head off to another island. And there were schools. There's schools. They bust us to schools and set vans and stuff for us. And when you get surprised, it's a surprise. It's a small school, they said. And we showed up there. And there was 400 kids waiting for us. And there was 4 of them.
I think
so
that's
we
fantastic.
lined up the kids, and we got parents and teachers to help us and show the kids the throwing. We demonstrate. You know, those little Fijian kids are some of the best athletes in the world. They pick up on things, and they got talent. I guess it's throwing coconuts.
And isn't it funny, Ed? I don't mean to interrupt you, but isn't it funny that look if you look at most of the third world nations, these kids have been deprived of so many basic necessities that when you give them the ability to express themselves, okay, that they just come alive with joy, because this is what we are about as human beings: love, light, wisdom, peace, and wisdom. I mean, this is what it's all about, and yet we have this control structure who's seen fit to keep everybody in a state of fear, panic, and disorder. And this is what needs to be eliminated. And I mean, you've contributed tremendous amounts of your time. And, you should be sainted for that alone.
Well, I feel thankful for the opportunity to get to do that. But that was back before I retired and I had my health and I had a little extra money in my pocket that I could do more things with. Now, I try to figure out how I'm going to pay my property taxes, which, I just pulled it off and got it. But this is our government being corrupt and over-controlling and taking too much for the people, and they're taking so much that we can't survive, and they're over-controlling us so where we can't work. And let me tell you this. I discovered that back when the interest rates was 18%, 20%, and these high figures, and money was being thrown out there at high interest rates, and the bottom fell out of a lot of things, and went down and interest went down. But the state government has, okay, if you're grandma and grandpa and you owe money and you owe bad taxes, we're going to charge you 18% on your taxes that you can't pay, right. And we're going to charge you a 10% penalty, and we're going to charge 18% taxes on the 10% penalty.
And that's compounded.
So that's compounded. So here your county government says, okay, you owe $5,000 of back taxes here, and it went up this year, and then it went again and again and again, and the $5,000 because your mom and pop, or you're retired and one of you dies, and the other one doesn't have enough to pay the tax, but the government wants that house back and they want money because they want to keep control of you. And you've paid taxes all your life, 65, 70 years old, and whoops, you lose your home on the courthouse steps before. But now, it's not even the courthouse steps. They get it together. It's kind of an interline thing, and they put your place up. You can put in bids, or bankers can put in bids, or loan sharks can put in bids, and they can take your property for dirt cheap, and then you don't get any money back out of it. But at the same time, if you for 1 year owed $1,000 taxes, now the value of land is going down.
Yeah, it's going to go down. The housing market, the housing market is going to get ready to drop another 33%. But I just wanted.
But your taxes are staying up there.
Yeah, but that's exactly what I was going to get to. The point was the taxes pretty much have remained the same. They've dropped just a little bit, not anything too drastic. But the point is they've constructed these laws in order for everybody who is unable to make their house payment, to make their land payment, to make it such a make these fraudulent laws, so you could pay $180,000, $200,000 on a house, let's say for 10, 11, 12 years, which has happened to me, and it's all interest, nothing going to principal because it's all compounded interest, and then when you simply can't make your payments, they take it away from you, Ed. So in this country, you own absolutely nothing.
Well, you do have one thing left. It's your soul. And they're trying to get that too. Now, back there, if you owed $1,000, okay, do the math. I'm not good at math, but do the math with me. Let's say you owe $1,000. Then they say, well, you didn't pay it. Penalty on that because you didn't pay it. You get a 10% penalty. And there's 18% interest. So that's 28%. That's damn near a third of what you owe. And they add it to your next year's tax. And then you didn't make the money on that. You couldn't. So they give you another last year's taxes plus this year's taxes a penalty and tax on the penalty. So now they're getting 28% again on last year and again on this year. Now it's no longer on that old money, 28%. It's a whole hell of a lot more.
Absolutely
And if
right.
my name was Einstein, I'd have the number for you. But in turn, you know you're in trouble. So they say, come down and make a tax plan. Well, if you can't pay the original taxes and you can't pay the interest and all that, but you make a tax, they offer you a tax plan, and they turn that tax plan into a scam to rip your house off and get you before 5 years of taxes is due. And what they do is when you sign that plan and you bring them in some money to pay part of it off so that you can have the payment plan, you got to pay payments on it on the old money, and then you have to pay the new money and keep it current. Or otherwise, you've defaulted. Whoops.
Yep, that's correct. You're 100% right.
So, next thing you know is they turn around, they let you get 20 days, 30 days overdue and give you notice that you've defaulted. You have 30 days to come current or lose your property. Now that doesn't take 5 years to take back taxes, take it away. It could be a year, 2 years, 3 years. Just default and then take your property. And
That's
you got
right.
nothing you can do about it. So I'm going to ask you this. Why do we vote for those people? Why do we let them make those laws? Why do they cheat our old families and our old people? Why are they doing this? And why do we let them? You know why? We're sheeple. We stand around and go,
You're right, Ed. And I'm trying not to laugh. You're absolutely right, and that's just a matter of practically speaking.
Like my sheep sounds kind of sick anyway, so
that's okay. But you're absolutely right, because this, what I was trying to say earlier, is that in this country you own absolutely nothing. Everything is on rental anyway. But the bottom line is, you said it best earlier. The one thing that they can try and get, they will never achieve, is our soul. It'll never happen, because we are soul-conscious beings.
The whole problem is they're now trying to figure out how to tax our soul.
I know, Ed, but listen,
if you don't pay your soul tax.
Right. What I was trying to say is, I wanted to get your information out there real quick, because this is we're out of time. The show is over. It's gone by so fast. I don't know where the 2 hours went, Ed, but just throw out your information out there, because in November, starting in mid-November, Ed and I are going to be doing a roundtable on Friday nights. So Ed, get your information out there real quick.
I'm Ed Grimsley, 707-478-2540, and I give you discounts on wholesale on night vision goggles, and anything I get, I give you a deal on, and anything I get, I use it for my research and my work to try to make our world be free and do it. And I put it on my...
Ed, I'm sorry, we're out of time. Listen, my friend, thank you so much for being on the program again, and I'll catch up with you next week sometime. Everybody, this is the Whole Agenda Radio Show. I want to thank Ed Grimsley for being on the show, and look for us, me and Ed, to be on in November doing a roundtable. This has been your host, Robert Pepino, for the Whole Agenda Show, and we'll be back with you on Monday when we have an incredible guest, which we will be announcing over the weekend. Thank you, take care, and have a wonderful and safe weekend.
Hi, I'm Ronnie McMullen, spokesman for Life Change Tea. I want to share my enthusiasm for Life Change Tea because this product really works. I have spent many hours listening to hundreds of testimonies from people